Hey everyone, MLive's Quinn here alongside Michigan football beat writer Nick Baumgardner from Jim Harbaugh's weekly press conference on Penn State week. And a little double dip today. This will be the first of two appearances from Nick and I. Geez. We have a little basketball game here in
a few hours.
About 5 hours. So we'll take care of football now. Nick, I guess one of the themes of today was Jim Harbaugh dispelling any belief that this team's banged up and has some injuries and is a little shorthanded and things like that. He says they have a bounce in their step, so
he said nobody looks hurt to me.
Needn't worry.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's
what say you?
That's the message and the mentality and the attitude he will carry. I think, some coaches will stand up there, I think, and really, frankly, for lack of a better term, make excuses about and set themselves up in a situation where, if we lose because this guy's out and this guy's out, and that's never, he'll do his things where he talks a lot about the refs and other things like that, but the injury stuff, isn't really something that rates on his radar. It's interesting because if a guy gets hurt and he's out, then he has Harbaugh has an ability to just take that guy. He's gone.
It's like he didn't exist, right?
And now I look at the next guy and I say, you need to be exactly like that guy. And over the course of his coaching career, he's done a better job than most at getting that other guy to be like the guy that he's replacing. So that's how he carries himself. That's how he'll have the team carry itself. But reality tells us that they are dinged up and they are lacking some depth, especially on the defensive line. Ryan Glasgow is an irreplaceable loss. He's a terrific player. I thought he was their best interior lineman. I think he might have been their best lineman overall. And they don't have anybody else that can replace him. He mentioned that it's possible Brian Monet could come back and play. I think his ankle, leg thing, whatever it was about 13 weeks ago. Again, I don't know what kind of shape Brian Monet's in, if that's even a real thing or if it's just something he was maybe. We'll see. But again, even Brian Monet, having not played for an entire year, that he's not Ryan Glasgow either. So it's an irreplaceable loss. You can't replace that. So that's a tough one. And then, you look at the flip side of it and your running backs, I continue to harp on that one. They are beaten up bad. I mean, Davion Smith and Drake Johnson do not look healthy. They look, Jay Chesson said it best. He says you're either hurting or you're hurt. If you're hurt, you can't play, but everyone else is hurting. And I think Smith and Johnson are hurting. Derek Green apparently has an injury too that he's working through. And Ty Isaac still has his personal internal matter, whatever it is. So there's areas on this team that are thinning. And we knew this going into the season. This was not a deep team. Regardless of what Brady Hoke would have you believe a couple weeks ago, there's not a lot of depth here. So they got to find a way. They got to find a way to get through it. 2 games left, the 2 biggest games on the schedule. Maybe 2 of the most physical games on the schedule too. So a lot to get done here in 2 weeks.
And for a program that has done well, not to pat itself on the back, for, through this year and turning things around. There's a lot of praise, justly so, for Jake Rudock today. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of those things where Harbaugh had said that he said it after the game Saturday that the path he's taken from week 1 till now is he said it was uniquely good. It was one of those things where he didn't really have much to compare it to in terms of guys he's been around that have been like that. And I think that you listen to the guy, you listen to Jay Chesson or Graham Glasgow talk about the trust they have in him and how they can't imagine playing offense with anyone else other than him as their quarterback. He's that calm in there, and now he's kind of added now he can make plays. He's making plays. He's throwing the ball down the field, and they really need him now because we just talked about those things. The running backs are dinged up. The defensive line is dinged up. If Rudock can find a way to recreate some of that stuff he had the last couple of weeks, then that levels. It makes up for some of those losses. So they need him to be at his best, no question. And thankfully for Michigan's sake, he looks like he is. And that could be the thing. You bring up the next 2 games, and if it's going to happen, it's going to have to be, I think, on Jake Rudock's shoulders.
It's interesting because however many months ago when it was when we found out that he was coming, everyone looked at him as a stopgap, a bridge to better things. He was just going to be here. If Jake Rudock wins the next 2 games and gets them to Indianapolis, he will have left a legacy here that is as great or better than a lot of guys who've ever played here, and it's only 1 year. And I mean that's a lot to think about and a lot to be said, but that's real. And he could really leave a dent in this program, whereas a lot of people just assumed he would be this guy who just filled a spot. and move forward. But he has a real opportunity now to do a lot more than that, which is pretty impressive.
Yep. All along, it was always the point of this year was to get to next year.
Get through it.
And
Yep.
lo and behold, here they are, potentially 2 games away from reaching Indy. So that'll be it for now. Like I said, Nick and I will be back later after Michigan-Elon at 7 o'clock back here at Chrysler Center. So as always, thanks for watching.